Okay, so what is the difference between string and string builder?
Okay, so inherently it feels like these are kind of interchangeable because you can keep a string in a string data type and you can keep it in a string builder data type, and you can each manipulate them and do a lot of the same things. What you really need to know is what's going on under the covers, behind the scenes, what the compiler's doing.
Right.
So here's a couple of buzzwords for interviews. So all strings are immutable, meaning that they can never be changed. It feels like they can be changed because we add strings together and chop them up and concatenate them and do all kinds of stuff. But in reality, every time we do an operation that appears to manipulate a string, what it really does is make a brand new string with a new reference, and it discards the old string for the garbage collector to pick up. That is okay when we're working with strings that are like, my name is Mike and a period. But if we start working with strings that are very long, or a whole bunch of them.
I was going to put a book here, but it's too much. But
yeah, if we started having a big, long string, we can start to get a pretty significant, not just a processor performance hit, but a memory space hit.
Yeah.
Because all of these strings keep getting created and destroyed in memory.
Yeah.
So like right here, when you set S4 equal to S1 plus S2, it seems pretty obvious that we're creating a new string for
Right.
S4. Where it becomes a little less obvious is when we do something like this. S1 equals S1 dot to upper.
Gotcha.
It doesn't feel like we're creating a new string. It feels like we're just uppercasing the one we already have.
Yeah.
But again, it's creating a whole new string, storing it back in that S1 variable, and then just discarding the original string.
Yep.
So the workaround for this is the string builder.
Builder.
And it's a little more verbose. We have to instantiate it. And the other thing we really should do, whenever we're working with a string builder, it's not required, we should give it a size.
Gotcha.
What we think is a reasonable upper limit to how big it can get. Not that we're restricted to that, but basically what it's going to do is it's going to go ahead and reserve the memory space for 1024 characters, or whatever number you put in there.
And then once it goes over that,
Then it's got to effectively create and redestroy, just like if you were making a string. And it uses a rule of doubling.
Gotcha.
So if you say it's 1024 and you try to put that 1025th character in there, it goes, oh, I need more space.
it's going to
I'm going to
2048.
I'm going to go to 2048. I'm going to double that number. I'm going to make a new string builder, and we're going to keep going from there. But we can add strings to here all we want. We use the append method.
Yeah, look at that.
And it just adds them onto that existing string builder. The difference being that the string builder is mutable. It can be changed.
Yeah.
We can do all kinds of manipulations on that string builder without having to deal with the limitations of strings. So it's really a performance tool. There is a string builder. I'm pretty sure there's a .append format.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of little helpful methods in there.
Append join, append line, append format.
Append format, which allows you to pass in squigglies. They're kind of outdated now, but you can put curly brace 0 and then pass in a value, and it'll go there. Like, will that work? I think it's...
Yeah.
Apparently it will. Okay. Overloads. Hey.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the string builder is a little more verbose. It takes a little more time, maybe even a little more thought, because you have to kind of think about how you want to pre-size it.
Right.
I believe 1024, don't quote me on this, I think it's the default when you don't tell it.
I thought, yeah.
So if you know you're going to be doing something and it's going to be a megabyte of data, don't just leave the default. You want to go ahead and tell it it's going to be a megabyte, so it's not doubling till it gets there.
So this little up here,
Mm-hmm.
it has a lot of strings that the garbage collector has to come and pick up, right?
Right.
And this one, we are just dealing with the one. And the big keyword you need to definitely say when this is immutable.
Immutable.
Yep.
Strings are immutable.
Strings are immutable.
There aren't a lot of immutable types. There's more than there used to be. The C# language is moving more and more towards immutables. We have record types. There's a whole immutable collections now. There's all kinds of immutable types. Immutable types, the reason we have them is because they're more performant on the other side. When you read an immutable type, there's no, behind the scenes, there's no locking that needs to happen. Because when I start reading a string, and I start reading the first character, and by me reading, I mean the compiler, when the program's executing and it's looping through from the first character to the last, it never has to worry about that string changing while it's manipulating it, because it's an immutable type.
And so once we have our string builder into the format, or not the format, but when it's done, and we're done messing around with it, we just do string sb.toString, and then now we have this string.
Yep, and
It's
that
kind
way
of in a finished process.
we make it in one shot. We
Yep.
don't have to worry about all the overhead of
all
all the
changing,
concatenations and garbage collecting.
Thank you for watching that video from F12 Programming. Please remember to like and subscribe. That does so much for us in the ratings. You have no idea. Also, don't forget to comment below. I hope you enjoyed, and good luck coding.